10. Anytime they keep score, I know you're keeping up with it. Look, we were really good for it to be a scrimmage game and only having 4 practices in full gear. I know you guys have been working all summer. What was your impression about the scrimmage?
Well, that was our first practice in full gear. We haven't been able to get in full gear all week because of the wet bulb, so we've been short. That's what I told them. I knew, and I told them before we got started, there's going to be plenty of stuff to work on and clean up. We had a shortened practice on Monday and Tuesday, had to go in the gym on Wednesday, and then obviously Thursday was more of our normal type, walk through, check everything, and make sure they know what they're doing deal. So that was the first time we were able to put on full pads because the wet bulb didn't allow us to. So, so tackling and some of those things, you got to think that some of those things we can get better at some of those things.
We look quick, energetic. We look strong. Look, I'm not going to say we're in mid-season form, but Coach, we did a lot of good things, and our guys that we know you're dependent on to make big plays made big plays.
Yeah, they did. I mean, that helps us out.
Yep.
To have some guys that got some experience. We got some guys that have had some experience, and guys we're trying to work in and maybe move around and do some different things with. But I thought that was positive. And the main thing I saw was guys doing what they practiced all week. The good things and the bad things. So hopefully they learn that lesson.
All right, Coach. I think you've been holding out on me. I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Quinlan Cothran. Coach, I looked at him, and he was a senior in the program. Listen, unless I'm getting Joe Biden-ish, that guy hasn't played football before this year. What am I missing?
No, I mean, he didn't, and he's a hard-working kid and a strong kid, made a couple big plays. He's one of the guys I'm talking about because he's affected the ball all week at practice, and he affected the ball 3 times. He had an interception and 2 batted passes. So, I think that's very positive for him to come out and make some plays in his first game. So looking for him to get better and better as he learns.
Coach, I also want to talk about some of our younger guys. I was very impressed with, when it comes to quarterbacking, I'm always measuring whether or not someone is confident. And I saw a lot of confidence out of Wyatt Mosley.
Yeah, Wyatt's been since, we started with those quarterbacks really, really early. Anytime you're replacing one, Wyatt's been there every day and learning what to do. And, he's a young kid, too. I mean, he's just a sophomore, so he'll learn and get better. There's a lot of learning that goes on, and the best learning usually happens when you're under fire. So hopefully he'll make some strides as the year goes on, too.
If there's nothing else I've learned about you in 4 years, it's you're entering your 5th year at Cedartown. You're a coach of consistency and discipline. And I noticed late in the game, you were just as fired up about number 25, Jalen Johnson's play on that 4th down, as you were in the very first quarter. That's something you try to bring to the table with these guys.
Yeah, I mean, those kids go out and do everything. They're out there every day, too. And he's a young kid, too. He's got, if he keeps getting better, he'll earn more reps. So, but that's a big play down there. That's essentially a turnover when you start making 4th down stops. So that was a big play for him.
Right in front of you, DeMarcus Gardner made a catch early in the game. Coach, I don't know whether you can claim you can coach that, but that was a remarkable catch and pass. That would have been on ESPN's top 10. Tell me about DeMarcus.
Well, I mean, obviously DeMarcus has got to make some plays because he's committed to Kentucky. He's an SEC football player. But I want to take some credit right there. We did check that once we saw the coverage. So, but he knew why he executed it. So I'm just messing around.
What were you picking up a single coverage? I mean, you cannot cover that guy, man.
Yeah, and that's what they were trying to do. So we ended up checking it, and he made a play, and Isaiah made a good throw. We had protection, so all those things go into that too.
Isaiah Johnson looked really, really good quarterback. Has he come along well for where you want him to be leading this football team?
Yeah, he's making a transition from playing fullback, which is an interesting transition. And then there was he was limited tonight because he was non-contact, which he ended up getting a little bit, but he's fine as far as that's concerned. But he's another one that's been early mornings and a lot of extra time in order to get that done, and that takes a lot of commitment. And he's a senior, and it's probably not his number one deal. However, he understands why he's got to do it.
Michael Gibbons also is a fellow I want to mention. It seemed like every time I turned around on the defensive side of the football, he was making plays. Is he just that kind of player?
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's pretty much a 3-year starter on defense. So, again, he's another one of those guys that's played a lot of football that should be making those plays, and you should be able to count on him there.
The starting center for Cedartown, I know he's been an offensive lineman for a long time, but Coach, he sprints to the line as a center every play. Is that part of what we're coaching him to do? Because I love to see that.
No, that's one thing that we try to do because it gives us a little advantage where people can't see our formations as quickly and line up. So, but that's Anderson Kennard, and Anderson's he probably thinks he's a skilled kid, but he's not built like a skilled kid. So, he is another, he's a 2-year starter. But it's been another consistent kid that's here every day and a smart kid and good to be around. And, I'm hoping he'll get better and better as well.
Coach is a former high school and college player and a fan. I give this night as a scrimmage an A+. I almost hate to ask you, but because we really look good tonight. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, I'll decline comment till I see the film. There was a lot of things we've got to clean up. I mean, like I said, I knew some of it was going to be that way just because we've had shortened practices and this our first week in pads, and it's really our first week. So I knew that, even scheduling it on this day, but, we just got to come back next week and say we got a group of guys that I think will understand what they need to get better at, and that's all you want out of scrimmage is to be way better the next week and continuously get better as the year goes on.
All of us in the stands and all of us are fans. We're always looking to pick up who's going to be the next bright spot as a freshman or sophomore. And, Coach, I saw a few guys that are freshmen and sophomores that, listen, they look scary impressive to be that young.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a large sophomore class, and some of those guys have they're going to end up being counted on this year.
Yeah.
So that's always, you're always looking to see, like you mentioned, Jalen Johnson. Jalen's a sophomore that didn't play last year, so he's going to get better and better if he continues to show up. Rohan Kent and Jacoby Dorsey both were playing on the starting defense tonight. So Chris Johnson, and then those guys. There's a lot of guys in those younger classes that we're counting on.
I saw a freshman wearing number 14 make a tackle out here wide on the receiver. I looked him up in the program, and he was a young man named Jet Abrams. Coach, he made a good play there. Dad or not, he made a good play.
I'll have to look at that one on film, too. I'll definitely have to look at that one on film. I can't hardly believe he'll make a tackle. So,
well, Coach, congratulations on a very successful scrimmage. Look, 35-10, we put it on them, put the hat on them. 2 weeks, you got Rockmart. You got a challenge every week this season.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, our schedule is very tough. It is. So we got to have a lot of guys that are ready to go, and they shouldn't have to get ready to go for that one.
Good luck in 2 weeks, Coach. I'll see you on the sidelines, hopefully with a great interview, whipping Rockmart. Congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Coach. That's Coach Abrams. Listen, what a game. Listen, I was very impressed with the effort of our team. It being a scrimmage, I just could not believe how well we looked. I gave him an A+. I couldn't get a score out of Coach Abrams, but be that as it is that any surprise? Frank, you were a coach. Did you ever score your team an A+? I don't know.
I don't know. Frank's long gone from here, but
all right. Well, that's the story from down here, guys. I loved it. 35-10. Always good to start the season. And by the way, the weather was as pretty tonight as I can remember it. Have a good night, guys. See you guys up there.
Yeah, thank you, Bill. Bill Lundy down on the sideline.